Sonic Forces is not a bad game. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, in terms of 3D Sonic games, it would definitely be in that good category. And I'm a big fan of the Sonic games, my favorite game franchise. So I've seen some that were rough. Sonic Forces, all in all, had the potential to be one of the best Sonic games. But overall, being as unbiased as I possibly can, I could say it's probably the worst of the good Sonic games, if that makes any sense. In essence, some of the best Sonic 3D games are Sonic Generations, Sonic Colors, and half of Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Those are considered kind of the best of the Sonic 3D games. And what Sonic Forces does is take a lot of good ideas, a lot of solid ideas, and a good base, and it puts out a solid game. But it just doesn't reach the heights of the better games in the series. Like if this game's gameplay is essentially just like Sonic Generations or the daytime Sonic Unleashed stages or somewhat Sonic Colors. But the problem with Sonic Forces and why it's not as good as those other games is that the stages don't quite have enough creativity put into them. It's like a lot of the levels, especially and surprisingly for modern Sonic, lack the creativity that they've had in past games. I looked at one review that said this seemed like castaway levels from Sonic Generations, and I can almost believe that. But anyways, let's get back to what Sonic Forces is and why I still consider it a good game. So, in Sonic Forces, the Sonic series returns to having stories, a slightly more serious story, kind of like the adventure games in Sonic 06. And in this game, Eggman goes on a big attack. He has a new helper named Infinite, a powerful jackal who's able to, along with Sonic's past enemies, quickly overwhelm Sonic and allows Eggman to take over the world. Um, Sonic isn't dead or anything, and you work with him, classic Sonic, and an avatar of your own making to try to fight back against Eggman. So with the story, I actually really like the story. It it's a little darker than a lot of the past Sonic games, especially a lot of the more recent ones. But once again, going against some of the better games in the series, this game's story doesn't go far enough. The base is there. It's almost like a playable version of the old Sonic cartoon that used to come on ABC, where they were freedom fighters and they had Princess Sally and stuff. This is kind of close to what that I can imagine this game's story in that universe. And all in all, it works good. The new bad guy, Infinite, is given a lot of power. He's a very powerful villain, but he's also kind of the weakest part of the story, as he doesn't get a lot of explanation for his strength or his motivations. But luckily, if you ever do pick this up, there's a free piece of DLC called Episode Shadow that does shed some light on Infinite, and I think it's critical to have that with the core game in order to get a lot more of the story. But it's darker. Sonic fights back against Eggman, and Eggman is a genuine threat this time. Like I say, all in all, the story follows your created character, who's a person who was caught in the crossfire, who's a part of the resistance with Sonic's friends and fighting alongside Sonic. All in all, a really solid story for the Sonic fans. But if you never cared about stories, this isn't going to change your mind. It's not particularly bad. It's just like a Saturday morning cartoon or anime type of story. So, take that for what it is. Now, the highlight, I think, of Sonic Forces has got to be the avatar. You'll create a character. You get to pick from various races. If I remember right, it's like a cat, a dog, a bird, a hedgehog, a bear. And you're able to color them how you like and give them different hairstyles, um, different clothes. I mean, shoes, pants, shirts, eyewear, gadgets. This isn't a cookie cutter character creator. A big part of the story as you finish stages, you unlock more things that you can use to customize your character. And there's a lot of self-referential jokes in this too. They got some of the Sonic doll eyes. A lot of things I don't want to spoil, but I will say, in terms of the rewards and the customization you can do with your character, I was really impressed. In fact, I got my daughter to help me design the little light blue hedgehog, and female, and with the look that she really liked, and it really drew her into the game. I like that your character does show up in cutscenes with the clothes that they wear. But it's not just on the customization part. I also think that the avatar stages are the more well-designed stages in the game too. Um, the avatar doesn't move as fast as a modern Sonic, a little more comparable to the classic Sonic. And it also uses a weapon with like a grappling hook, but it can also have a flamethrower attached, a lightning whip, a lot of unique weapons. And it's not to say that the game is so hard that you really got to put a lot into your weapon selection, but it is nice, and they do make slight differences to the gameplay. In fact, in certain avatar stages, you're able to take different paths depending on the weapon that you select. And you unlock more and more powerful versions of your weapons as you play the game. And being able to choose that is it's pretty cool. Like I say, it adds replayability to the game. The avatar stages, I enjoyed pretty much all of them. Like I said, they were consistently good. And if the rest of the game was on the avatar stages level, this would be one of the best Sonic games. But alas. Now, on the side of what I'm more disappointed with is kind of the modern and classic Sonic stages. Now, neither one of these types of stages are bad. With modern Sonics kind of being over too quick sometimes, but the one I was really disappointed with was classic Sonics, which was just passable. Like somebody handed someone a template for making Sonic stages, and they did them, but they didn't have no soul, no high level design to them. It was just passable. And coming off of Sonic Mania a couple months ago, passable isn't quite good enough. You kind of gotta put your best foot forward. So I did come away disappointed with classic Sonic stages, even though they weren't particularly bad. They just weren't particularly impressive, and that kind of hurt the experience here. You could almost do without them. With modern Sonic stages, they didn't reach the heights, like I said, of other better 3D Sonic games, but they weren't bad. They were serviceable, and nowhere near as disappointing as classic Sonic stages. But they could have been a lot better. Regardless, though, I did enjoy the boss fights once again, and the music. There's a couple of standout tracks. They did some really cool things with the music. Once again, the boss fights are pretty cool. And in essence, this game ticks all the boxes. It just could have used a little more fine tuning. It didn't feel like their best foot forward. It felt like a good step forward, but not the best foot forward. If you're a fan of basketball and you know of Lonzo Ball, and people who analyze him say he doesn't always put his best foot forward, but it's clear that his skill is there. And that's kind of the case with Sonic Forces. It's very clear that there's some good ideas here. And when they really push, when you have a good level or particularly good boss fight, or you hear a really good sounding song, you really see that there's something special here. It's just that sometimes it's just content with just existing. And that's why, at best, even though I liked a lot of it, I can only give it about a 7 out of 10. It's pretty cool that it's at $40, kind of a budgeted price. I don't know what the motivation was behind that, but I think that's still a fair price for it. This doesn't feel like a $60 purchase. Hopefully some more DLC with some more intricately designed stages comes out in the near future and gives the game more life. But I do like the DLC that's out for the game. I'm gonna give a short video on that. And I still think it's worth it for any Sonic fan. This is a good place to launch out from here. They just gotta bring their best foot forward with level design. So anyway, this was another little review discussion. Till next time, peace.